Jews, not death to America, not death to Israel, death to the dictators. And the other thing they were yelling was, Obama, are you with us or against us?
And I'm going to say that the diaries of generals, of Germany's generals from the 1930s, show that they were ready to overthrow him. Every time he made a move, whether it was into Austria or Czechoslovakia, they thought, the West this is going to provoke the West and they'll destroy us, because they were stronger in the 30s than Germany was. And they never did it. And so 70 million lives were lost. That's what we're facing. It is a matter of will, political will.
Cliff, speaking of political will, we had an experience just with a group of friends over a Shabbat meal yesterday, where there was a plaintive cry, really, from somebody who was even older than me, basically saying, why don't we have anyone in American politics who's a grown-up? Why won't they tell us the truth? Why won't they talk to us? The idea, one of the numbers that is bruited about is in the state of California, unfunded obligations of $70 trillion. And that may be a little bit high, but whatever it is, it's high enough. In the United States, David Walker, the former Comptroller General, who's been on my show a lot, I mean, if you calculate the unfunded obligations of the federal government, it's over $300 trillion. And yet people on all sides of the political aisle seem to be talking about rearranging deck chairs on a ship that is in very, very dire trouble. Do you see any evidence within our political system that there are people, that there are voices, that there are individuals, that there is a political party or any political faction that is ready to speak truthfully and soberly to people who desperately want to hear the truth?
I guess the best I can say is not yet.
Oh, I do.
No, I do.
You know, okay. Well, I'm not sure who exactly that is. Look, just to add one thing to this conversation, and it kind of gets back to your earlier question. Democracy is a fragile thing, and there are any number of ways you can destroy it. And one is the way you're discussing right now. You just promise everything in exchange for votes, and you let somebody else worry about how you're going to do it. But that also includes this, that once you get to a situation in which a majority of voters understand that they don't have to pay for anything, they can simply vote.
Made tremendous sacrifices and taken huge risks and given back territory won with the blood of its soldiers for the sake of peace. It has made peace, a cold peace, but nevertheless peace with Egypt and with Jordan. It would make peace happily and gratefully with the Palestinians if they were ready for peace. But they are not. They are not ready. They demonstrate this on a daily basis by the incitement, by what's on Palestinian television, teaching their children to become jihadis, teaching their children to become shaheeds, to blow themselves up for the sake of their homeland, etc., etc. There are a million examples. The fact is, the Palestinians are not yet ready. The Israelis will have to wait until such time as they are ready to live in peace, but they will not. They will not, just for the sake of having the UN say nice things about them, commit suicide.
Yeah, let me just, people, again, this got very little coverage in the United States. The Israeli newspaper Yediot Ahronot did a survey, a public opinion survey, where they asked, in the unlikely event that this round of peace negotiations is successful, and that Prime Minister Netanyahu was able to come home with a signed agreement backed by the UN and by the United States and signed by the Palestinians for a two-state solution that would include territorial concessions and concessions on both sides, In general, would you be inclined to support such a two-state solution or oppose it? And by 48 to 43, the Israeli public was opposed. And largely because, first of all, it's a statistical tie, it's within margin of error. But largely because, given the fact that Abu Mazen, Mahmoud Abbas, has no authority whatever in Gaza, how much does that agreement mean?
And keep in mind, Hamas theologically cannot accept Israel. What's more, Hamas is instructed and funded by the Iranians, as is Hezbollah. They will not accept a Jewish state in the Middle East. If that's the case, Saudi Arabia could not possibly accept a Jewish state in the Middle East. There's no way for it to go. One other quick point. The political class has it exactly wrong. They believe that if we can only settle the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, the jihadis around the world would say, well, that's what was firing us all up, and all will take all the energy out, and it'll be over. It is exactly the opposite of that. If jihadism as a movement were to be defeated, destroyed, by which I mean the ambitions of the Iranians for nuclear weapons would be frustrated, Al-Qaeda would be destroyed, or at least continue to be decimated, Taliban were defeated, Hezbollah, Hamas. At that point, Palestinians might be able to stand up and say, what are we waiting for? Who do we think is going to arrive to our rescue and bring us back and have us throw the Jews out into the sea? Let's not sacrifice another generation. But again, Israel is on the point, on the front lines of a civilizational struggle. There can be no separate peace for Israel.
Okay, we're going to do 5 final questions. Gentlemen right here, what's your